discussions on everything from the court to the field, mixed with the business and culture that orbit the sports world. Whether it's the latest blockbuster trade or the societal impact of sports, Two Men On with your hosts, Van Nunley and Fred Slow, with producer Isaiah Johnson on 95.9 FM and AM 610, The Sports Animal.
Hello, Albuquerque. It's Thursday. You know what that means? That means the U.S. Open has started, boys. That's what that means.
Ooh, wait.
What's going on with it? How's the leaderboard?
Tight.
It's tight. There's like 17 people under what is supposed to be the most buzzsaw course or whatever in the history of the thing, and people are just eating it alive, except for Scotty Scheffler, who sucks.
Hard no. The leader is 4 under. These are the best golfers in the world, and the leader is only 4 under. That's course conditions that are wild. I was watching On and Off all day today, and some of these, it's just circus. Look up the church pew bunker.
Yeah, that thing's crazy.
Insane.
Yeah.
A 300-yard par 3.
Yeah.
Insane. 5-inch rough that your ball just disappears. Insane.
Isaiah Johnson is here. Isaiah, welcome.
Thank you for your kind welcome.
Does conservative talk get U.S. Open talk during the day?
I did not know it was going on until you just said it.
Okay. I think it's the best one of all of the majors. The Masters is fun, but it's lame. And they just changed there's like a new name now for, I'm going to get this all wrong, everything I'm trying to say. They rebrand them. U.S. Open will always be the U.S. Open.
Yeah.
Like the French Open is something different.
That's tennis.
Oh, that's tennis.
Yeah. Roland Garros.
Roland Garros.
Well, the cheat code to all these sports is just to get money in it.
This one is the one that's different. This is the one where like 40% of the field or whatever is like Amis.
There are.
So it's like amateurs win regionals or whatever. And then after they win the regionals, then they get to play in the one. And like your favorite dudes, they just might not even be there.
14 amateurs this year.
Is that what it is?
Yeah.
And how big's the field?
There's 14 amateurs and then a bunch of qualifiers.
So sweet.
Very cool. Including Zachary Pollo or Paulo, not sure. Never heard of the guy. He's an amateur who is 1 under and tied for 8.
What?
Pretty good.
We have our Isham Dental soundbite of the day, which is Patrick Reed. Do you have that up, Isaiah?
Yes.
It's our Isham Dental soundbite of the day, ishamdentalabq.com. Reach out to Scott at 505-881-0422. You go to the website, though, ishamdentalabq.com. You get that exclusive offer of free exam and x-ray. Now, this is courtesy of the U.S. Open broadcasts. And we're just going to give you the name. It's about this cat, Patrick Reed.
Mm-hmm.
And he did a thing. It's our Isham Dental soundbite of the day.
This just happened at the 4th. Patrick Reed at his second from 286 yards away.
It 2 hops the green, rolls, what do you think, 20 feet? More.
He doesn't even know.
He's so far away,
Not a clue.
he can't see it. He just puts up 2 fingers so he knows what to put in the scorecard.
Uh-huh.
A rare one.
Albatross
in U.S. Open history since they really started
So
keeping
sweet.
records.
I don't know if you can see this. I got chills.
It's so cool.
Absolutely not. Right down the flag. It's over the brow of a hill. That's why he couldn't see it. He couldn't.
I've been playing golf
Your
on
whole
and
life.
off
Your whole life.
since I was a teenager.
Yeah.
Never had a hole in one. I've had 1 albatross. And it was like a double lucky bounce miracle.
I saw Phil Mickelson hit a ball behind him a few days ago.
Like right-handed? Like, what do you mean?
No, so he's on a hill, and the hole is behind him.
Oh, I know what you're saying.
And he hits it straight in the air, and it skies and goes behind him and bounces and goes in.
Yeah, these guys are just so insanely talented.
Like, I imagine as golfers, as they get older, I bet like little trick shots like that, they'll always be able to pull off. Maybe not like the greatest accuracy from far. I mean, that shot was insane.
Well, they'll be able to attempt them.
Yeah.
Like, but these guys are so good, it doesn't even seem stupid.
Right.
Yeah. Like, if we did this, you'd be like, what are you doing?
You
should pull that up in your free time and let me know what you think of that one.
What I know.
Oh, I saw it. Yeah.
I saw it as well.
He's got 1 foot in the bunker. The ball's like knee high.
Yep.
And old lefty's lefty. So
I had a similar lie to that one time. And what I did is I'm right-handed, and I got my putter and I hit it left-handed and popped it right into the air off of the hill, and successful.
I'll tell you what I liked about that Mickelson one that you're talking about. And he's doing live golf, by the way.
Mm-hmm.
So that's different.
There's a few live golfers.
So he just had like the giggles afterwards. And you're like, yeah, he knows how stupid that was.
Yeah.
Everybody watching is like losing their mind. I feel like in golf, all right, there is no keeping quiet for that. It should sound like a football arena.
Yeah, I mean, you could tell how subdued a friggin' albatross was. Like, people should have been going absolutely ape blank.
Explain an albatross. What is that?
This is a great question.
Yeah.
So if you're 1 under, that's a birdie.
Yeah.
If you're 2 under, that's an eagle.
Correct.
If you're 3 under, that's an albatross.
Correct.
So if it's a par,
It's a second shot on a par 5.
Yeah.
No
It's
idea what you guys
like
just said.
the same rareness of a hole in one.
so if it, like every hole has a par, right? Does that part make sense?
No, it does not. I could see his face. On,
So
I'm like,
par,
I've played a lot of the golf games, so that's the only reason I even understand a little bit.
so par is the amount of,
strokes it takes.
yeah, that it should take.
Yeah.
So they say,
So that's the baseline.
yeah. So
Correct.
they say like this hole is, I'll just give you an example, 500 yards, which is really long.
Yeah.
And then you say it's a par 5. It
Gotcha.
should take you 5 shots.
Gotcha.
So then this cat, and he drove the heck out of it. Also, I'm not 100% sure on Patrick Reed. I think everyone hates him.
Oh, I'm not sure.
I think that's the vibe on him.
I do have a friggin' golf show every weekend, and I'm really not into the TMZ stuff of golf. I don't know about the golf beefs since like Bryson and Brooks got into it.
I know that one time a guy got
Oh,
arrested.
by the way, Saturday morning, 8:00 right here on 95.9 FM AM 610 Sports Animal, filling the holes with myself and Max Machado talking golf.
Patrick Reed is a professional golfer, has faced numerous controversies throughout his career, including allegations of cheating, incidents on the course, and even a defamation lawsuit against media outlets.
Fun guy.
Yeah, he's had he does weird stuff with his etiquette where like he'll like say if you want to play really fast, he'll purposely slow down. Or if you want to play a regular pace, he'll go real fast or whatever. He's just like a weird dude.
Golf, I mean, this is the same thing in a lot of sports, but golf is the most prominently mental over physical sport. So if you can get into somebody's head and screw with them a little bit, huge advantage.
2019 Hero World Challenge, penalized for moving sand behind his ball in a waste area. 2021 Farmers Insurance. He was accused of picking up his ball before an official could reach him. Dubai Desert Classic, accused of identifying his ball incorrectly on the 17th hole, allowing him to drop the ball in the rough instead of hitting from the tee box again.
Yeah, the tensions flare up on the golf course. You'd be surprised some of the stories. I mean, not surprised,
No,
but I've been surprised by some of the stories I get when I have to actually go out onto the golf course because people are getting into it out there. There was a guy that came in the other day and he's like, yeah, these guys are a couple holes back and they said they're gonna meet me in the parking lot. And I'm like, so we walk out there and I'm like, well, what happened? And he's like, well, he hit his ball a little too close to us and I feel like he hit it at us. So I hit it back at him.
That is not out of the ordinary.
And I'm like, okay, so guys are just hitting golf balls at each other.
People die every year. Like it's
no, they don't.
yes, they do. People
No.
get struck by golf balls all the time.
No.
But like on a course intentionally, that's like a homicide.
No, no, not in that situation.
Oh,
I mean,
okay.
even accidentally, people get struck by golf balls, and that is the end of a human being. It happens more frequently than you think it does.
It never happens. All right, here goes. So according to vovexgolf.com, I don't know if that's a trustworthy thing, an estimated 2 to 3 per year.
So it happens.
That's worldwide. That's not a lot.
That's way more than 0.
He says that's worldwide,
I believe this is worldwide.
not New Mexico only.
No, I didn't mean like per year, per course. I meant this happens, and it's dangerous. They'll snap a bone in half.
Okay. I mean, let's not get dramatic here.
Oh, on this program, we're not going to get dramatic? Is that what we're going to do now?
If you're to be like, hey, Freddie, I'm climbing to the top of the Sears Tower and I'm just dropping a bucket of balls off the side, maybe I'm believing you. Maybe if that is what happened, cool.
We killed dozens of people.
Yeah. If you were like a loser, like Marine soldier in Los Angeles right now, and you were shooting golf balls at people, I'd be like, okay, I'm believing you. But I'm telling you, like on the course, if it's 2 a year, that's like nothing.
Dropping golf balls off a building.
That's a wild one.
Yeah, that's like
And they
something
got those-
Spider-Man.
Not everyone's a pro golfer. Pro golfers drive the ball. That's probably the hardest they ever swing. Any
Sure.
club in the bag. In between like 160, 180 miles per hour.
Serena Williams.
That will
does
blow. Yeah, with a soft tennis ball. This is a little rock that is going 180 miles an hour at your skull. I'm surprised there are not way more deaths than that.
You know what sucks? Like superstar. Also,
Zay, so really the courtesy is this happens a lot. Like somebody will hit into you on a golf course.
Yeah.
You give them a warning the one time. Say, hey, man, be careful. You're getting a little close. You know, please be mindful of us golfing in front of you.
hey, no, he's being soft. What you say is,
If it happens twice, you run the ball over with your golf cart and shove it into the ground.
No.
If it happens a third time, you beat their ass.
No.
Because that is assault.
here's what I always do when it happens to me. I don't use that first line. I use this one. I go, hey, I hope that was the best shot of your life, brother. Because if you don't think you can get here,
The accidents happen.
that's the one I do.
What you're saying is true.
Yeah.
Like every once in a while, even the average golfer will hit
We'll
the ball.
sail it.
Yeah.
That's how I always start the conversation is, hey man, looks like you got all that one.
Mm-hmm.
And I say it in a way to where you'd be like, oh yeah, no, I didn't know I was so strong. And then everything's cool. But if they do it again, then it's straight to fisticuffs.
Oh, you
'Cause
don't, you don't have the third one.
No, because
You
I
have
already
2
gave
strikes.
you. I gave you the opportunity.
Mhm.
I actually diffused it. Also, if you do get hit in the head with the ball, but you duck and get hit, like if you wouldn't have got hit, but then someone's like 4 and you duck, and because you ducked, you got hit in the head, I think that makes you a loser.
Hard disagree.
What?
You should try to evade the murderous rampage golf ball coming right at you.
I don't want to. I'm gonna stand my ground.
But also, I mean, no, I guess. I just feel like you got to be angry about other things if you're going to just be,
Oh my god!
like, I'll meet you in the parking lot.
Hey, golf course is the most middle management dude of all time. If you go and play golf, it's a bunch of weirdo loser middle managers that have a bunch of people at their day job saying yes to everything they want all the time. And they get on the golf course and they run into guys like me and Van where we laugh in your face when you make a stupid request about using a certain cart, or you make a stupid request about how to park in the parking lot, or you make a stupid because we're not the yes dudes that get paid to be around you all the time, you loser middle management figure it out holes. We're not those dudes. And that's the problem with golf course is these guys don't know how to dissect from their stupid corporate and presumably very similar home lives where they just got a bunch of yes individuals around them. That's why golf sucks.
No,
It's not golf itself.
We talk about this on the program all the time, the weekend program,
Yeah.
filling the holes. It's like there's a sea change in golf where golf is like, the rise of Tiger Woods, like that was a big sea change in the world of golf. Like the past 6-8ish years, like there's been another revolution to where people aren't as stuffy anymore. People aren't as stuck up anymore. Most golf courses that, you still have your country clubs, your elitist stuff, but most golf courses, like, wear jorts and a t-shirt, bro. We don't care. We embrace you in the golf world. But there's still like the old guard, and that's the people you're describing, who suck. Their lives suck. They're unhappy, and they want to ruin your day out on the golf
these
course.
These are directly the people that then come in. They get done golfing.
Yeah.
No matter whether they did good, and they come in there with a good mood. There's no issues. But then you got guys that come in there. They're irritated with life. They suck on the golf course. Then they come into the bar and get drunk and drink some beers, watch their team lose.
Get shot down by waitresses.
Yes. And then not by the end of the night, the girls are coming in. Yeah, that guy is saying he's not going to pay. Or that guy's being rude. I don't want to serve him anymore.
Hey, get their card in the beginning.
Yeah.
Do it when all their boys are there.
Yeah.
That's the move. Because if you don't pull out your card when your boys are there, loser.
Yeah. Like, it's an attitude problem. Like, every golfer thinks they're better than they are. I am the exact opposite.
Also, I do not think I'm better than I am.
The overwhelming majority. What are you talking about? You're the best fling golfer in the state, Fred.
Hey, Southwest.
Every golfer, and I'm, obviously a little bit of hyperbole trained, choo-choo. Every golfer thinks they're better than they are. And when they hit that bad shot, or they duff one, or they get too much grass, or sail one into the group in front of them, you're not a professional golfer, dude. Like, take another sip of your Michelob Ultra and chill the hell out. You're not that good. You're not good enough to get upset. If a professional golfer at the U.S. Open drives and hits one into 5-inch rough, and then from that rough, he hits it into a sand trap, and from that sand trap, he skies it over the green, he can be upset because he's a professional, and there's tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands, if not millions of dollars on the line. That guy should be upset. Weekend warrior who goes out there and cheats on your score just to get in the double digits, you're really shooting a 120, bro. You didn't shoot a 90. I see you cheating. Chill out.
Well, that goes into what Fred was saying. Like, they're used to yes men, right? So that's usually because they're in some position of power. Some of them are good at what they do to get there. Some aren't. But a lot of them, they don't know what it's like to not be good at something they try at. So they're like, okay, I should be.
Well, and it's not just golf, though. Like, you're very correct. But, like, that same guy who can't golf, he can't parallel park.
Sure.
Like, he failed at everything he tried to do. Like, and then he's mad when Van won't move his car from in front. And Van's like, figure out how to pull out, brother.
Yeah.
Like, you know what we all have? The social contract that is the driver's license.
Yeah.
Learn.
It's okay. Have another Michelob Ultra, put a snowman on your scorecard, and chill the hell out.
Snowman's an 8.
It's an 8, say. That's a bad score.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was thinking 3 zeros.
Pretty close.
There you go. U.S. Open's open. Amazing shot from Patrick Reed's the highlight of the day. He's still a jerk, allegedly.
This is challenging some of the best golfers in the world. Jason Day, great golfer, 4 over.
Also,
Patrick Cantley, 6 over.
we have to go to break, but Isaiah, double eagle also works. Like, albatross is the cool one,
Yeah.
but if you say double eagle, people are like, that's fine. Double eagle.
And we never even got to what that truly meant. I just know what par means now, but
That's a good baseline, because in golf, par is the baseline.
2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. They sports animal. Welcome back to the program. Engineering just came in here like 2 minutes ago, and they say, hey, you're not on FM right now, you're only on AM. So moving forward, you're listening to 2 Men on 610 AM, the sports animal. That's all I'm going to say moving forward.
No, and the KNML app.
Oh, and
the Listen In app.
Correct.
Or talkabq.com.
Yeah, or you're streaming the video.
You want to see what Fred looks like?
I just took my shirt off.
Yeah. You pop that top. Your move, Zay.
Yeah, Zay. How you going to one-up this?
I have no undershirt on, so I probably I'll let you have this one.
So is that what we're all doing? We're all taking our shirts off?
Again, I don't have an undershirt. I never have an undershirt.
But I'm currently wearing my undershirt, but if we're all taking our shirts off, we need to have a unison decision here.
Zay's almost there.
Yeah, Zay.
He ain't got no sleeves.
You have also, is that your Ezekiel Elliott lookalike shirt? You got your bellers out too?
Oh, of course not. No.
I don't know what the dress code is here at Cumulus.
Definitely clothed for sure.
You see, but
that's universal.
Yeah, sometimes
there are rules on radio though. Like I can say like things on radio for entertainment purposes that I can't say in the workplace for workplace purposes.
Totally. Yeah.
And I think the same thing applies to clothes.
We could pretend we're naked right now.
Yeah. This is crazy.
And you'd have to go on YouTube, Facebook, or Instagram to find out if we were or not. The radio listener will never know.
No.
They'll never know if I'm wearing clothes or not.
That we maybe have never even.
This is the first day to wear clothes.
Yeah.
We've done this show nude for 6 years now.
Well, also, you guys have been a lot of places during the show. So then you'd also have to ask yourself, were they naked inside Howie's? Howie's is probably a bad example.
Yeah, it was a bad example. Also, the YMCA would be a bad example.
Yes,
Now, Howie's would be a likely example.
Yeah,
the YMCA
would be a bad example.
Bad example.
That's why I didn't make it.
There's like, what is that thing called? I've been in radio for 20 something years, but there's some sort of immunity. Man, what is that called? You know what I'm talking about?
Plausible deniability.
Safe harbor. That's what it's called. So when you're broadcasting, like if I'm like things I say in the air can be part of the gimmick.
Right.
So you get safe harbor.
Yeah.
So if I'm like this, if I'm like, all right, Isaiah, I'm gonna pick on you for a second. Okay. So if I'm like, hey, Isaiah's an idiot, I can say that on air and that's fine.
Yeah.
But if I just go around the office saying that, that's a problem. Right. Now, all right, now Isaiah, you do me.
Fred's an idiot.
It's okay. And actually, the way you said it kind of hurt. So I think maybe we should.
Yeah, he meant that one.
I heard that one.
Yeah, that one was authentic.
Yeah, we actually, you know what? In our circle, we no longer have safe harbor, boys. It's only honesty moving forward.
That's the way I like it.
I was just trying to mimic yours.
Well, you one-upped me again, just like with your sleeves. Taught me a lesson. So if you listen to us on the AM or the stream or the whatever, and eventually we'll treat the FM like Cotter when we can. So that'll be cool. U.S. Open has started. We were talking about that.
Hey, it is a bad day for a golfer named Justin.
Tell me how.
Okay. Justin Thomas, incredible golfer, 6 over. Justin Rose, almost just won the Masters, 7 over. Bringing up the rear, Justin Lower, not an appropriate last name right now, but let's go.
Okay.
13 over. Justin Hicks, 14 over. If you're a golfer named Justin, sorry about your day, boys.
Hey, but you get a cool weekend off.
Yeah. Yeah. You're not going to be doing much Saturday and Sunday. Got a chance to bring it all back tomorrow.
You know, the scores carry over, right? Like, I'm not trying to spoil anything for you.
But you can chip away at it. Bring it back. Hey, good news, though. Amateur Justin Hastings, only 1 over. Looking good for that, Justin. Usually you wouldn't be bragging about a 1 over, but at the U.S. Open, especially at Oakmont, pretty good.
Do you take advantage of any of that NBC all stream access stuff?
I did today.
Yeah. Was
Yeah.
it cool?
I popped on the old Peacock and went for a little journey with my buddy Trey Wingo, friend of the show, multiple time friend of the show, Trey Wingo.
Was it cool?
Yeah, it was cool. They what I like, they hopped in between different coverages. So obviously they had the NBC Universal Peacock one hosted by Trey Wingo,
Mm-hmm.
and then they would do like Sky Sports in England, or they would do
Oh, that's cool.
and they would like switch languages every once in a while.
Yeah.
It was really cool.
I think the greatest innovation in golf is number one, Skycam.
Mm-hmm.
Like Skycam
Love it.
is fire.
Yeah.
And then I don't know what to call this thing exactly, but the little blue tail behind the ball,
The tracer.
the tracer.
Yeah.
So, and then when you put that on Skycam, I go, this is great.
Yeah.
And if you can do like a picture in picture of it to where if it's like whatever, like Rory teeing off and then
A lot of that.
Skycam,
Yeah.
are they putting those things together?
Yeah.
Oh, so I'm 100% in on that.
Yeah. So you got your main coverage. I mean, Saturday and Sunday are going to be way different because you focus on the leaders more than anybody. But like Thursday and Friday, it's just overwhelming sometimes. But you can do like a small picture in picture of, hey, Scheffler's on the tee box, but we got a birdie putt here. So you could have like one focused and then one secondary. Well, another thing they kept doing, and like you can go in between all of these. They kind of mixed them all together and jumbled them up.
Sure.
Depending on, the editor's, what he liked in the moment, but you can watch just one of them. So like, if you want to follow all the groups of superstars around, you can watch like 6 holes being played at once.
You
at
said
all
editor,
times.
you meant producer, but I get what you're
Sure.
saying.
Yeah.
The thing that's wild about Oakmont, also, Isaiah, if you do want to get into golf, which I recognize that you won't because it's hard for you to break old habits of never watching golf.
Mm-hmm.
But if you, you could do it like tacticially, you could get like a print or you could do it digitally or whatever, but bring up Oakmont like on a device or whatever. And then you see what it looks like as they're doing it. And it like super changes the way you watch it because like now, like, hey, this is gonna whatever, play left or play right or whatever.
Yeah.
And it's like, it just adds like a more of an understanding to it. And it's super intense. Cause like, I'll just like these greens, I sound like a super loser fan. These greens, they don't get like wider than the fairway here. Right. So it's like, you'll go to a lot of courses and you got a little bit of play left or right. Like when you're coming down, you can like go over like a sand or you can go over the rough or whatever. But here they're all basically pretty uniform. So these guys, and you saw it earlier with that, what's that dude's name that got the eagle on the first hole? Moldovan, is that his name? Maxwell Moldovan.
Sure.
So he hits one, Isaiah, and it just rolls off the fair onto the green and continues like the green just became part of the fairway. And you're like, this is wild because the shot doesn't make sense before you start watching, or if you don't know how it's laid out. You're like, why would he hit it there? Why would he put it on the fairway when he could obviously reach the green, from 130 out or whatever? Oh, shoot, it was 189. That's actually quite a bit farther. But still, you can hit the green at 200. And you're like, no, he knows, like he sees it.
Yeah.
And you're like, eagle. Also, this is why like watching a pitcher pitch is so good.
If you know. Correct. Yeah, the Oakmont Country Club, the original designer, and apology, golf fans, I had to Google it.
Yeah.
Henry C. Founds,
Ooh.
1904, he wanted it to be the toughest course on the planet.
Yeah.
So for 100 plus years, it's been the toughest course on the planet. And they've continued the tradition by making it longer, making it harder, adding more obstacles. Like the greens are like pool tables. They're just rock hard and fast. Like you'll see people putt in the opposite direction of the hole to try to catch a hill and just roll it towards the hole. It's incredible how difficult they made this course. So you're seeing the best people in the world on the hardest course in the world.
Super sweet. So yeah, watch golf if you can watch golf. Specifically, this is the one that I put over. Like the rest of them, I'm like, cool, check the scoreboard, watch on Sunday if you want. But this one is, like we just said, just cool stuff after cool stuff and you never know where it's coming from.
Right.
Because the top tier golfers, the Morikawas and the DeChambeaus and all those guys, they're better than everyone all the time, no
Mhm.
matter what. But that group right below them, they can be better
Right.
one time. And often it happens at the U.S. Open. So you get super cool stories.
Yeah, hard agree. Like, I mean, the majors are always going to get a lot of attention from sports fans. Golf fans are going to watch golf no matter what. But U.S. Open is my favorite to watch
Same.
because of how challenging it is. Like it's some of this stuff, like at Oakmont, it's like there's circus holes. Like,
Yeah.
why would you put something there? Why is that there? I don't understand why you put that there. Oh, wait. It rolls right into the sand if you hit it there. It's absolutely absurd what they've done to this plot of earth.
There's also, Isaiah, this part is not going to make a super amount of sense to you because you were not alive.
Okay.
I guess you might have been alive. I don't know what year you were born.
97.
Okay, so you were definitely alive, but you were a child.
Okay.
Where after terrorism started, Oakmont is where George Bush did that super famous.
Now watch this drive.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh-huh.
So it's
We're gonna get those terrorists.
yeah. And he's the greatest athlete of all time as far as like that pitch in Yankee Stadium and that drive.
Yeah.
Those are the only two examples I need of his athleticism.
I think there's only 3 presidents all time that are competent in sports. Gerald Ford.
Yeah, football player.
Yeah, he could have played in the NFL.
Yeah.
W. Who could go.
Yeah, and Obama.
And Obama.
Got a jumper.
Yeah. Trump doesn't suck at golf.
He does not suck at golf. Well, when you play
Incredible cheater at
when
golf,
you
though.
play that
Just
much.
legendary golf cheat.
Yeah. If he asked me to move my car while parallel parking, I would do it. He's the president.
He's the president.
He's the
For
president.
sure. He doesn't need to park, though.
It's 2 men on.
I think he's driven in decades.
I think legally he's not allowed to.
True.
Okay.
But also, like, Obama's not allowed to anymore either.
Ever
Really?
again?
Mm-mm. No, not on public stuff. Like, if he were to, like, whatever, go to...
Pick up some Arby's real quick?
No, you can't. He cannot drive on public streets. But he can drive on, like, private drives.
Mm-hmm.
Not just him or any ex-president.
Any ex-president.
Okay.
Also, if that's not accurate, I'd be surprised, but I do think that's accurate. That's all from memory. I also don't think the first lady can drive, but I don't really know if that's accurate.
It's very sexist of you to say that.
Agreed.
2 men on 95.9 FM and AM 610. This is why we're safe harboring. And also, I screwed up the outro. 2 men on 610 AM, the sports animal.
This report.
Welcome back to Two Men On. Thanks to all of our AM homies. Talking the U.S. Open this entirety of the first hour has been a lot of fun. All right, Isaiah, welcome back to the U.S. Open talk.
Okay.
So you only like cliche stuff, right? Cowboys, Lakers.
Those are coincidences.
Now the Royals, which is not cliche. Also, what's up with John Rave?
Hit a single on the Yankees last night.
It was in the book as a single, but it was a rocket.
Yeah.
Van and I stopped watching the basketball game to watch John Rave last night.
Mm-hmm.
Appreciate you putting on for the hometown.
Yeah.
Rave Watch Live last night.
Now, we didn't invite you to that.
There's something I was about to reply to, but you got me. There's something else. Oh, yeah, the cliche thing. Coincidences. I also like throwing darts. That's pretty unique.
No, it's not. Lots of people throw darts.
Millions of people around the world throw darts.
Yeah.
Well, millions do all sports, but darts, if there was a chart, darts would be near the bottom.
If you would have said sleight of hand magic, I would have said, yeah, that's pretty unique, brother.
I sent you guys a video. Just turned around, whoa, sidearm, bullseye.
What are we talking about?
Dart throwing. It was actually right here in the studio. There's a dartboard back there.
If you sent that video, I didn't see it.
It's in the group chat.
Crap. I need to unmute the group chat.
If you said, boys, like, I'm into highlight right now, I was like, oh, that's a niche sport.
Yeah,
no one does that.
I like playing Makana.
Yeah.
Which I do.
Makana forever.
Isn't it Moncala?
You don't pronounce the N.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Zay doesn't. You're supposed to.
Zay always pronounces that. That's Zay's stuff.
Here we go. Yeah, we're going to, no worries. I got you. We're going to resend.
Okay. Thank you. I will look at it. So stupid.
They call me Mr. Precision.
Again, you can't give yourself a nickname.
That's
not how nicknames work.
I said they.
Okay. Well, who gave you?
Yeah, give us one example of they.
Who gave you that nickname? Shmaya Schmonshin?
The chat.
Hey, chat. Smash F if that's true on what Isaiah said.
W's in the chat for Mr. Precision.
Is that what it is?
W throw. W dart thrower.
So this is what I'm saying. Now that you're an adult,
yeah,
and you can be your own person,
yeah,
and have your own interests and hobbies, like what would it take to get you into like a golf thing? Like what would it take to?
I would love the thrill of doing better than I expected on something like golf, but unfortunately,
no, you got to sign up for the long haul.
Would you expect to be good because you will do better than bad?
Well, I'd go the Van method. I would lower my expectation for myself. That way, I'd always impress myself.
Are you talking about the lowering my expectations for my dating history or like golf?
Hey, was I on a
golf?
Was I on a plane when you sent this? I've never seen this video in my life.
You were sitting in there.
You put your own nickname in an emoji graphic.
Yeah,
yes,
he did.
For a magician. Also, the chat gave me that nickname.
You again.
That's not what that means.
You can't give yourself the nickname the chat and then give yourself the nickname Mr. Precision and then say the chat gave me the nickname.
Well, no, the chat is the people. That's like your fans. Those who are watching your live stream. Like right now, say there were a bunch of people.
Not at this moment.
Roasting me in the comments, that they would be referred to as the chat.
Well, if they saw this dart video, they'd be roasting you for being left-handed.
Yeah, lefty's lefty. Learned that about 20 minutes ago. You said it about Phil.
Well, everyone knows his nickname is Lefty, which he didn't give himself.
You said lefty's lefty. It sounds like it was a saying in golf or something. Like the lefty's gonna lefty, as if they have like special abilities.
No, he's the only one.
No, he's like one of the all-time best with a wedge.
I bet one of these guys.
Everyone knows that lefty's gonna lefty around the green because he's incredible.
It's like Manny's gonna Manny.
I thought you were saying
no
left-handers are gonna.
No, there's like zero left-handed golfers.
Really?
It's very. It's. I mean, but that's in all sports. Like there are no good left-handed athletes.
False.
Who? Glenn Rice.
Jalen Brunson's left-handed.
He's pretty good.
Yeah, he's pretty good.
That's a good example.
LeBron's also lefted. He's just ambidextrous, but left is dominant.
Steve Young. That's probably the one. Also, I don't really think that anyone's ambidextrous. I think they just don't suck as bad with the other.
Bubba Watson.
That's correct. That's me.
Yeah.
I often refer to myself as ambidextrous when people notice me doing something with my left hand. Not the case.
No.
I just suck less.
I just thought about both of my hands, and my left one feels softer than
When
my
you
right
think
one.
when you think about it,
Yeah.
or when you actually like touch it.
Well, it might actually
Both.
be because you use one more than the other.
Yeah,
I think-
my calluses on my right hand are much more
Oh,
prominent.
I have 0 calluses on my hands. I do not work hard.
because you are just
Soft.
2 billion thread count soft.
I think
Bub-
it's Steve Young.
Bubba Watson's left-handed also.
Randy Johnson.
Oh, that's a good one.
I mean, pitchers are too
That
easy.
doesn't count.
Yeah, pitchers are too easy.
I
It's
feel like
got to
that
be
should
another
I
sport.
feel like that should be an I-9 before we waste them all.
Oh, we've
Bet.
definitely done this one.
Best left-handed athletes?
Yeah.
Then we'd be able to rattle some more off. Steve Young, okay.
Yeah. Now,
Not Tua.
no, not two.
Not Tua.
Now, if it's the best at being an athlete and killing dogs, Mike Vick,
Mm,
put him on the list.
multifaceted.
Babe Ruth is lefty.
Just at hitting.
Yeah,
Like,
just batting.
Just batting.
Yeah,
Just
bats left-handed.
I think baseball doesn't count.
Baseball
now that
doesn't
we're
count.
saying This. Yeah,
Yeah.
not at all.
imagine I couldn't imagine my offhand being my power hand
Well, you know,
in a
practice.
swing. But like I don't see how that'd be a thing. Unless in baseball your front hand is just more important for guiding or something, which I highly doubt.
I feel like switch hitting
he,
is.
he
the-
twists his shoulders.
well, I'm doing the most. Switch hitting. I mean, at the major league level, everything's hard. So I recognize you say it's hard. I think switch hitting is the easiest of opposite hand thing. If you ask me to shoot a basketball left-handed, cooked. You ask me to switch hit, yeah.
But there's way more basketball players. I would bet right now 25 to 30% of NBA players can shoot offhand. There's no
Well,
way there's that
like-
many baseball
like,
players. That
no,
can
not
switch it.
hey, not permanently. Like they can all
Yeah.
hit a left-handed layup.
Yeah.
Also, I think Angel Reese is actually left-handed. She just doesn't know.
Mm,
That's crazy.
left-footed.
Duh.
Yeah.
There's a couple of guys I know Kobe once had an injured right hand, so he went a whole left game with his left hand. I know, like LeBron, like I said.
He's not left-handed. I've seen his jump shot.
Larry
Well, like,
Bird, Larry
is that-
Bird used to play bad teams left-handed.
Yeah.
LeBron shoots right, but
purpose.
like in every day. Yeah, I know. I heard that about Larry. LeBron shoots right, but every day he uses his left as his dominant hand.
Ugh, I don't like that.
Isn't that weird?
Yeah.
I guess
He also doesn't read.
He said he was just taught to always shoot with his right hand, like in basketball. He's like basketball players are right-handed, so he would use his left hand and everything else. But when it came to basketball, he was just taught to use his right to shoot.
You know, for a lot of years, it was related to this is real. There's not a punchline here. It was like you were like witchcraft and stuff. I'm serious.
Mhm.
So people hit it.
Oh, Caitlyn Jenner's left-handed.
Which one is that?
That is the Olympian that turned. He's now she. Caitlyn Jenner, Bruce, Kardashians. I'm not gonna. This is what being in a pickle is. I'm all trying to describe this. Like I said Olympian first. It was male Olympics at the time.
If we did the Johnny Carson, you won't get this reference. But the envelope thing, you're gonna be like, and hates the month of June. We would have been like, oh, okay, yeah, we got it. We know what you're talking about.
If you take out baseball and boxing, it's kind of just
Musicians.
Phil Mickelson, Messi, Bill Russell, and Wayne Gretzky. That's it.
Jerry Seinfeld.
That's the list.
Chris Bosh.
We'll talk about athletes.
Chris Bosh.
He don't make the
No,
list.
he
make the
don't
list.
make anyone's list.
He don't make the list.
Tim Tebow.
Definitely does not make the list.
Oh, is he left-handed?
Yeah.
Dude was a stud.
Wait, what's Steve Young though? Did you say him?
Yeah, he's the one.
Okay, you said Steve Young. You said take out baseball, so no Ken Griffey.
Yeah. I mean, that's obvious.
Everyone who's artistic is left-handed. And Mark Zuckerberg.
You'd say art or ought.
2 men on. AM 610, the sports animal.
This report.
FM and AM 610, the sports animal.
NWA New Mexico update. Just announced at 5 o'clock on the social medias of NWA New Mexico Duke City Championship Wrestling. Pro Wrestling is returning to Rio Rancho, Van. And NWA New Mexico is partnered with The Block. You can catch our next, well, after the June 21st show at Hollow Spirits. But our July event is July the 19th, Battle at The Block. That's the super fun new venue out in Rio Rancho.
Cool spot.
So we're going to do it right there in the courtyard. Tickets are available at dccwlive.com. If you're interested in supporting me, do keep in mind I am in the ownership group of that. So if you support pro wrestling, you support me. So thank you for that. It's going to be a banger of a summer evening. It's going to be a lot of fun. Battle at the Block.
Ooh. It's a good name.
It's a good name.
Strong title.
Basketball game last night. So I said on this show yesterday that the Pacers are going to win by one basket or they're going to get blown out. That's what I said.
Yeah.
Now I was close.
You did.
They won by less than 10 points, which is 3 baskets.
I'm sorry, what?
They won by 8.
Okay.
So that's 3 baskets.
Believe they won by 9.
3 baskets.
3 3-pointers.
So I was very close. I'm
not really. Not at all.
How many
actually?
How many baskets can get to 9? 3?
9,
and I said they were going to win by 1.
9 is almost half of 20. You said 20, but that's the other team.
I said they were going to blow them out, or Indiana was going to win by 3 or less baskets.
Nope.
So,
pull up the tape, Zay.
All right. So I said they will win by 1 basket.
Well, at least you gave them a shot to win.
I did say you did not.
I said Oklahoma City's going to win by 22 points.
You did say that.
Yeah. And I encouraged you to bet on them.
Yeah.
And
it was the end.
Sorry.
It was the end of the show when we were doing our predictions. So Isaiah had already checked out. So he actually didn't make a prediction.
Oh.
Yeah. He said, I'm going to watch John Rave, is what he said. But they won by 3 baskets, basically the way I called it. So now the 2 best teams in the NBA since January are currently sitting in the finals, and the number 1 seed is chasing a game on the road, and everyone hates it for some reason.
Wild.
They're losers. Everyone is a loser who hates this.
It's the NBA finals. Look, sports fan. So what if it's not Knicks Lakers? It probably never will be. But we have the MVP. And if you think it's just some fancy acronym, it stands for Most Valuable Player. SGA, another acronym, is the MVP. Watch the best player in basketball. Oh, what about the most clutch player in the history of basketball? No one has done what Tyrese Halliburton has done this season, and especially in the playoffs.
You mean like go to the
being that clutch?
Go to the free throw line 0 times in the finals in 3 games? That's wild. Attack the basket.
Wild. It's a great series, back and forth.
The Pacers, who are up 2-1 in the NBA finals, have only led for 10% of the game time.
So bonkers.
Their largest lead of the series was their win last night, 9 points. It's wildly good. It's wildly good. But because fans are afraid to say that the NBA is better than ever. Hey, by the way, the NBA is better than ever. They love trade drama, and they love like weird, emotional, Real Housewives of NBA team conflict.
Who doesn't? Come on. Kick it straight with me.
That's what they want. They want to go. They don't want to watch the game. They want to go out there with calipers and grab Luka's love handles. Sure. That's what they want.
I mean, we talked about on this program, like there's no superstar people sitting in the front row. Like it's like Pat McAfee for Indiana,
Reggie Miller.
and then no one. Well, Reggie Miller's working. He's
No, he's not working.
oh,
It's
he's
the
not
other
working.
one. It's the other one.
Oh, it's the other one. Yeah. That's it. Reggie Miller and Pat McAfee. Oklahoma City, you have no one. Was it 25th and 28th biggest media markets in the country?
I don't know.
That's going to affect the numbers a little bit.
I don't,
But it shouldn't affect the numbers for actual sports fans.
Ratings are so weird. If you go to in my algorithm's not fair because I'm in this world. But the YouTube's not struggling for the NBA. The Instagram's not struggling. The TikTok's not struggling. Like all that stuff's still getting likes, shares, retweets, and W's in the chat, as Isaiah just taught me. Like that's happening.
I mean, we roasted Game 1 for having the lowest ratings since 1988. But guess what? You know what the number one most watched program in May was? Game 1 of the NBA Finals.
Mm-hmm.
It's down, but it's still the most watched thing on television.
Also, how many people were Googling this Mathurin kid? Like there's so much, there's always a thing going on.
I mean, this is the Battle of Canada.
That's sweet.
SGA versus
Benedict.
Benny.
It's so good, dude. But Talking Head, like that was the thing with the coverage last night. We're watching it. And for some reason, like leading up to it is like an interview with LeBron James about Luka or something. And you're like, what is going on here? Shine this thing up. And like you said, Van, make it look like a finals.
Yeah, I mean, that's my only beef is it doesn't look that much more special than anything else.
Mm-hmm.
Like a lot of people didn't know it was the finals. There's no Larry O'Brien trophy on the court. There's no, extra coverage. There's nothing different than it would be Indiana versus Oklahoma City a couple months ago. Give me superstars. Give me halftime concerts. Give me wilder commercials. Like make this a little shinier, a little sparklier. But as far as the play on the court, sports fans, this is a legit good series with incredible teams and incredible players.
I don't know what the definition of superstar is.
Well, I mean, participating in the coverage, not on the court.
Yeah.
Because there's obviously superstars on the court. There's Olympians there.
Yeah. I think you have to be like so special, though. I think in the history of the whole thing, again, I'm not trying to get caught up in semantics, but how many dudes, like LeBron is one. You and I went out of our way to make sure we saw LeBron James play basketball in person.
Correct.
Because he's that thing.
Yes.
I don't know if that's true for anyone else in the league.
Steph is right there.
You would go out of your way to watch him?
I would. Yeah.
Yeah, I could see that, I guess. If he was close, if he was in like San Antonio or something, that's fine.
Yeah.
Phoenix, that's fine.
Sure.
Yeah, I'll go to that. I'm not trying to go to San Francisco. Also, if whenever we're at the Super Bowl next year and they're playing, we'll make the effort.
Totally.
Yeah. I'm not going, SGA is not going to get me to go to Oklahoma City.
There is nothing that's going to get me to go to Oklahoma City.
Yeah. And also not even just for play on the court. Like I need everything.
Mm-hmm.
I need the full package. It helps. I mean, it is LeBron. There's no one else that does what he does. Got the shoe thing. Got the production thing.
Yeah.
I could just keep saying the word thing. After
Bigger than the sport.
Bigger than. Outside of soccer players, probably the biggest athlete on the planet.
I would agree. Shohei, but yeah.
Okay, touche.
Yeah. But an incredibly short list.
Mm-hmm.
Messi, LeBron, Shohei, probably about it. Previously Tiger. Yeah.
I'm trying to think of people on the planet who are more famous. Donald Trump, Vladimir Zelensky. I mean, it's like a short list.
Incredibly short list. Taylor Swift.
Taylor Swift.
We're talking Taylor Swift numbers.
Hey, and with one album cover recently, maybe Sabrina Carpenter. What is going on with that? You see any of this stuff?
I did see that. Yeah,
That's
that was
weird.
That was thrust upon me without
That was
my consent.
weird. Christy Nome today
Got us talking about it.
having senators arrested.
Mhm.
Maybe her.
Yeah.
Hey, also, if you're not super plugged into the stuff in LA right now, like unplug from your algorithm and learn some stuff.
Correct.
The most awful thing that could be happening is currently happening.
So if you're only hearing one side of the story, find another storyteller.
Oh my gosh.
Because what you're hearing, if you're only hearing one thing about what's going on in LA, listen to the other side of the story, because the truth is always in the gray area. If you're only hearing one thing about what's going on in LA, you're incorrect.
It's going to take a horrendous occurrence from there for this to get condemned the way that it should already currently be being condemned from politicians and media, because for whatever reason, that's not happening. And when you and I have these talks on air, we get pulled into the boss's office.
Mhm.
And then I say, well, just put us on KKOB. Put us over there. We'll do fine. Set us up on the weekend. I would love to open after Terry Travis turns off her microphone. I'd love to just go sit down. Say, let's go.
Oh, I thought you meant to smell the microphone.
No,
to do a program.
to do a program.
Oh, yeah. That's way better.
Also, I would go on before Terry, but she starts very early
No.
the weekend.
No. Not on a weekend.
on the weekend.
Weekday, sign me up.
Weekday.
I
Yeah.
can do that.
You know what I like?
I'll
Waking
do-
up early.
I do 5 a.m. on a weekday.
Yeah, not a problem.
Not on the weekend. Get out of here.
Now,
That's when I'm going to go to bed.
you know, Bob Clark over there at 5 a.m, he's already the best.
Mm-hmm.
It's already happening.
Yeah.
Don't mess with success. That's what I always say.
No. If it ain't broke.
That's the thing too. You know, because
Don't fix it.
yeah, thank you.
It wasn't necessary, but thank you.
He did fix it though. That's where you are in like this like weird world of entertainment, right? Where it's, hey, because the measurables are there. You know, the measurable, like, hey, Fred and Van and Isaiah, you're doing a good job because the measurables are there. There's ratings and revenue and there's growth and all these things. You're like, cool. But say one weird thing, and then it's not about your reportables. It's about your relationships. And then whenever it gets to that, then you're cooked.
Right.
This isn't just me. This is everyone listening. Like, you can do perfect at your job. Second, you mess up a relationship. That happened to Tom Thibodeau 5 minutes ago.
Right.
Tom Thibodeau is the best at producing, but he was mean in practice. Like, okay. Did you go to the Eastern Conference Finals or
Grow
not?
up, yeah.
Take you to the playoffs 5 out of 6 years or whatever it was. Hey, why don't you like the Knicks, Isaiah? Like, you're like cliche.
Because I'm not cliche. That's why I don't like the Knicks. I like the player that got me into the Lakers.
LeBron.
No, goodness, no. For the Knicks, I mean, I had a Jeter jersey. I did really, really like the jerseys when I was a little kid. And I remember I'd always get compliments on the Jeter jersey.
Well, he didn't play for the Knicks, but I do get where you're going with this.
Well, they're both cliche. The Knicks, there's no chance.
I think being a Yankees fan is cliche. Unless you grew up in the most populous city in the country, then it's not. What is that? Oh, Cubs. Anyone who's a Cubs fan.
And you have no connection to them whatsoever?
Yeah.
The thing with the Yankees, though, is you got to think about how, like, time transpired. So they were really, really good early on. So then, of course, you got a bunch of bandwagon Yankees fans, but then they have kids.
Define early on.
Beginning of Derek Jeter's career.
No, way before that. Like,
No, well, off what I'm speaking.
Yeah. Well, that team was legit good. Like, those 90s Yankees were legit. If you go back to a bunch of those championships, like during World Wars, and when there were only 8 teams, like, those are all the inflated stuff. But yeah, hey, don't sleep on those 90s Yankees. They were legit.
Yeah, I'm saying, like, those fans had kids, and then of course they're Yankees fans. So then those kids are going to end up being Yankees fans.
Unless
now you got a bunch of Yankees fans.
Unless they hate their dads, man.
And there's more to the Yankees. There's more to the Cowboys. There's more to
Notre Dame.
Lakers. There's more to Notre Dame than just having success and people jumping on the front runner bandwagon.
Texas has the best brand.
Yeah. The Yankees, the pinstripes, the history, Babe Ruth, Lou Gehrig. Like there's so much allure that I could see non-New Yorkers, non-multiple generation Yankees fans. I can see why you like that.
I like it.
Yeah. Like I didn't have a choice. I was born in Houston. I grew up in the Astrodome.
Yeah.
Like that's my team. That's going to be my team no matter what.
Like
I really didn't start to like them until they started cheating. And then I was like, oh yeah.
Now I can relate.
Yeah. That's why I like Patrick Reed so much. That's why I celebrated that albatross like louder than anybody in the country today.
Whether people understand it or not, it's like, yes, you don't have to be a fan of the biggest teams to understand that the leagues are better when they're better. Like when the Cowboys are great this year, you guys are going to see a nice, good refresher of how great the NFL is when the Cowboys are a good football team.
Well, we segued out of NBA Finals talk, but like we saw this coming. This was no secret. We told you, friend of the show, that this is going to be the least watched finals in decades. We told you this was coming. I didn't say it wasn't going to be a great series. It is a great series so far, but it's going to be the least watched because no California, no New York, no Florida, no Texas. Like this, there's only so many population centers in this country. No Chicago. It's Indianapolis and Oklahoma City. Of course they're going to have low numbers. It doesn't matter if they got two of the, 12, 15 greatest players on the planet going against each other. Halliburton and SGA should be enough just to watch by itself.
These teams kind of have their stuff together. That's the problem. It's not the dysfunctional whatever team Kevin Durant is currently on. That stuff's not there. And that's what people like the cash fan tunes in for. They tune in to see, will Westbrook continue to suck? Whatever, we could pick a million different things. But that's just not here. These are just two of them that kind of really got their stuff together, and that's why they're in the finals.
Yeah. And guess what? They're going to be back next year.
I don't know about
They're going to be good for a long time. Oklahoma City ain't going nowhere.
They will be back.
Oklahoma City is going to be fantastic for years.
No one's coming out of the West. Maybe the Spurs. But outside of that, no one's coming out of the West. It's all Oklahoma City.
There's a lot of comp.
I mean, that's why you play the game. Stream it on 95.9 FM and AM 610. We might be on FM. I don't know. Sports Animal.
This
Welcome back to the program. So, funny timing sometimes in radio, right? So we were talking about the definition of superstar. Magic Johnson put a quote out literally today on it. So he was doing a talking head show, and his definition of a superstar is a person who can go on the road and sell the building out. Pretty good.
Yeah, that works.
Pretty good. Also, it's not always about selling seats, but like if you can raise the value of those seats, I think that has a lot. Caitlin Clark, I think, is now my new answer.
She's number one right now.
Yeah.
Well, she's a superstar. She's got like the whole transcendent thing going for her.
I agree with that.
So that's like an automatic pass.
So I think it's only Caitlin Clark right now.
I mean, it's still LeBron.
Yeah, only Caitlin Clark. What? The only superstar right now?
I think in sports.
Right, she's number one. She changed revenue in the league immediately. It wasn't like LeBron who just like improved it because it was already fine.
She got hurt and viewership dropped more than 50%.
Yeah, the tickets in between the air quotes forced rivalry in between Caitlin Clark and Angel Reese, tickets were like $300 to watch that matchup. Caitlin Clark gets hurt, they plummet to $15. Like that is a huge effect.
They really wanted that Angel Reese thing to work.
It is not.
They really wanted it to be like,
no, it's not.
Isaiah, this is way before your time because it's before me and Van's time, but they really wanted like a Bird Magic kind of thing with them. And she is bottom tier. Except her glow up, and I've talked about this, is the most impressive thing I've ever seen. You could put her on any billboard and you'd be like, I'm buying tickets to that.
Luka Doncic is a much bigger star than Caitlin Clark.
I don't know.
Not even close.
I mean, he did sell some jerseys when he got traded, but no one had the jersey yet.
You leave America, they don't know who Caitlin Clark is.
Like other countries?
No.
Yes.
Incorrect. Caitlin Clark is worldwide.
Luka Doncic is a much bigger deal. If he wasn't, it wouldn't have been the biggest trade in NBA history.
Well, it wasn't.
It was the biggest trade, 100%.
In NBA history?
Yes.
I don't know about that. That seems like a recency thing.
Correct.
Yes. And then, any other person you try to bring up, they're not going to be at 25 years old in their prime getting traded. It's not going to happen. You might find a big name that got traded, but it's not going to be prime, 25 years old, just upped and traded. And then also look at the return that the Mavericks got.
Cooper Flag?
Even that even makes it even bigger. It's got nothing but bigger as time's gone on. Now, if the Lakers were playing today, it would have been a home run.
I'd have to see the.
I don't even think it's the Lakers' biggest trade.
Oh, I don't know.
Hey, Wilt Chamberlain, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar,
How old?
Shaquille O'Neal.
Oh, yeah.
Come on, man.
Shaq being traded was not. He wasn't 3-time champion Shaq at that point.
Well, he became immediately. Like,
yeah. So I mean, if you want to look at like most important, we can't judge it because Luka just got there.
Well, hold on. You just put that same qualifier because unless Luka has 3 championships before he got traded, and I just don't realize it.
No, Shaq doesn't have the championships when he got traded to the
Neither
Lakers.
does Luka. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, and so pre-championship, Luka's a bigger deal than Shaq was in the Magic.
I might argue that Paul George getting traded twice recently is more of a big deal because both these teams are in the finals.
Correct.
No, Luka on the Mavericks is a bigger deal than Shaq was on the Magic. And that is the hill I'll die on.
I think I would say the Kevin Garnett one was bigger to the Celtics.
Luka is nowhere as close to how popular Shaq was.
No, not even.
It's Shaquille O'Neal.
Before the Lakers?
Yes, before the Lakers.
You're thinking of after the Lakers.
That trade too, when he got traded to Miami. Put that one up there.
Neither one of those were as shocking or as big as
Shaquille O'Neal was in movies before he went to the Lakers. Shaquille O'Neal was a rapper who sold millions of albums before he went to the Lakers.
Luka Doncic.
He went to. No, it's not even close.
Yeah, it was. And
how many movies has Luka been in?
I told
how many
you,
albums has Luka made?
I told
how
you,
many commercials have you seen Luka in?
I told you you'll have bigger names. That trade is nowhere near as big as the Luka Doncic trade was. Also, Shaq didn't score 70 points and shoot 70% from the field in that game.
In which game?
Any game.
Oh, yeah.
So if we're going basketball on the court, Luka was 100% a better basketball player than Shaq was, which is really where I was going with that one.
I don't even mind.
You sound insane right now. Right?
I do not sound insane.
There are thousands of people screaming at their radio right now.
Shaquille
O'Neal?
Luka Doncic,
the
Magic,
most dominant player in the history of the NBA, Zay?
Was he that on the Magic? No.
Yes.
He was not.
No.
Yes.
He was that dominant when he put on 50 more pounds after the Magic and he was unguardable in the paint.
Oh my God, Zay, Shaq
was a ball. He was
generational.
More athletic.
Hey,
he was more athletic.
Even the first time he was with LA, which is Louisiana, when he was playing college basketball, he was still that thing.
Yes.
Also, if you want to
Luka Doncic was drafted at 17 years old.
Okay.
He's playing pro since he was like 15.
Okay.
He's a better basketball player on the Mavericks than Shaq was in the Magic. And if I pulled up the stats, it would make this a laughable argument.
Feel free to pull them up.
All right,
Please do.
All right, let's pull up Shaq Magic stats, and we're going to pull up Luka Maverick stats.
Well, you're just giving me filler now, but hold on. So the real one, though, is still Lakers trade, and it's Vlade Divac for Kobe.
What are we ranking in hindsight?
The draft rights.
Are we going hindsight?
I'm just saying if we're going biggest trades.
But that is not bigger at all.
That
is a draft day trade for a young player who was not the Kobe Bryant we knew him to end up being.
Okay, I'm just saying he helped Shaq win a couple championships. Didn't do much after Shaq was gone, but
if we're gonna in the concept of this, we'd have to go off of what Kobe did in high school compared to what Luka did for the Mavericks.
I thought you were just saying it's because Luka was good when he was young. I thought we were doing that same measurement.
I see what you're doing. So you're he's
I'm pretty good at radio.
This is a generational gap thing.
Yeah, 100%.
You have no idea how big of a deal Shaquille O'Neal was when he's younger.
I am saying this is a John Madden as a basketball player, Luka was a better basketball player on the Mavericks, had done more for the Mavericks when he got traded than Shaq had done for the Magic. That is undoubtedly a fact.
It's not.
Yes, it is.
To you. Like this is a mix of recency bias and your inherent Lakers bias.
No,
Shaquille O'Neal was the biggest deal on the planet.
You understand Shaquille O'Neal, the guy we're talking about, said it's the biggest trade in history.
Well, he's in TV, brother.
And we're radio.
Like, that's his deal.
And we're radio. That's our deal.
Also, you shine up. You know what I mean?
For sure.
And in the argument for biggest trade, this trade didn't even get brought up, Shaq to the Lakers. Now, if you want to go for like trades that were most important for a franchise, then Shaq could be first, but you couldn't even use the Luka one because we don't know yet. Like, as of right now, it's not even close because they got booted first round.
How many chips does Shaquille have? 4? Is it 4?
He's got 4.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Has Luka won an MVP? He has not.
No.
Okay. Shaquille O'Neal did?
Which years?
No, he only had 1.
He had 1, but he had MVP votes 12 straight years.
That's pretty good.
You hear that goalpost moving?
Well, no, he already got one. We said he got one.
Also,
he made it through the goalpost. He has an MVP. Luka doesn't.
In hindsight. Okay.
All of this.
We don't know
literally all of this is hindsight because we can't see the future.
Exactly. So if we go up to the point of the trade, so the time the trade happened, now look at what that player has done previously.
Yeah, 1.
And then obviously, I bet if I really sat here and did the homework and looked at who the Magic got for Shaq, like how that trade went down, and then also why he was traded, I guarantee it was not as shocking as picking up your phone at 10 o'clock in the middle of the season and seeing that a top 5 player has been traded. That's also a big factor.
Well, it was an off-season trade.
Okay, so that also disqualifies. It can't be as big as this one because this would happen in the middle of the season.
Which also doesn't matter when it happens.
Yes, it does. The off-season is when trades are supposed to happen. The off-season is when teams make decisions, not
at the trade deadline during the season.
It wasn't even a trade deadline.
Okay, I was just wondering if that counts too, though.
which was also crazy. This was in the middle of the season.
Here's the only thing you're really struggling with here is you're not saying the phrase, in my opinion. If you just said that, it'd been fine.
You can't present things as fact that are opinion.
Have you guys said opinion in saying that Shaq's was bigger?
Well, this is not an opinion. This is a fact.
Unequivocally true.
Yeah.
It is. He may have been a more popular figure because he's Shaq. But as far as basketball is concerned, it is not more shocking.
Shaq was the best player in the NBA.
He
Lucas top 5.
Now, if
Shaq
you want to
was not the
say,
best player in the NBA.
if you want to say surprising because of that timeline you said, I might hear surprising.
Biggest surprising?
No, well, not biggest, but I would say surprising works.
Surprising fact. It's a big factor in being the biggest. How about that?
Now that I'm noticing your measurements instead of your incorrect measurements, I will buy into that idea that also, because you're not a very good fan of the Lakers, you didn't know there was rumblings with Anthony Davis. So that's why it was such a surprise.
There was not rumblings.
Warnings.
No, he had just got done saying, yeah, I think the front office should get a big man so I can move to the power forward position. And then got traded.
Yeah. Hey, I totally agree with you. Most surprising. Sure.
Biggest.
Not even close.
I'm
not even close to the biggest.
It's all or nothing.
Yes, we can tell. 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610. Hey, Sports Animal. Tuning on. We're going to have Brandon Ortega on the program tomorrow. He's going to talk about the adaptive clinic that the Ice Dubs are running out at Roadrunner Little League. Also, El Dorado High School is coming out to help. They're going to do some fun stuff. We're able to take moments on our show and recognize those individuals in our community that help because of the Recognition Place, fan. It's trpnm.com. The Recognition Place is awards and gifts and engravings, and you can reach out to our friend Jason at 505-881-9003, and you can recognize individuals who are exceptional with exceptional awards, plaques, crystals, awards, art, glass, acrylics, everything in between. The big one right now is those tumbler cups, man. That's what people are sweating.
Yeah.
Well, their drinks aren't sweating because they're in the tumbler cups, but yeah, reach out to our friend Jason, let him know that we sent you if you are cool to us. And thank you to he for helping us recognize people in our community that are making a difference, including Brandon Ortega of the Albuquerque Ice Dubs tomorrow, as he will join us live from the ballpark.
So stoked.
It's going to be a good one. I tried to find anything NFL today that was good.
Okay.
I did my darndest. But it's only just rookie signing and OTA stuff.
You talking about the Shamar Stewart? There's some meat on that bone.
Did he sign?
No, there's some meat on that bone.
What do you think's up?
Number one, I don't know if we've seen a rookie really do this, but basically if he wants to, he can opt out and enter the draft again next year because the Bengals are not giving him a contract. Not too sure why. I don't know if they wanted to see him on the field before they gave it to him. And he was like, give it to me first. And usually players, you have the rookie mini camp and then you hear about rookies getting signed.
Yeah.
I don't know what happened with that, but he's basically outing them to the media. And also the reports are he grew up a Chiefs fan. So he's actually a Chiefs fan. Bengals and Chiefs have a rivalry. Don't think that matters too much, but he's telling reporters Trey Hendrickson, for example, who's also going into contract talks. He's having issues with the Bengals front office. He's like, oh, if I was the Bengals front office, Trey Hendrickson, he'd have all my money.
Of course.
You don't go that route as a rookie.
Of those points, well, it's been done a lot. So John Elway famously did it. He was the big name. Bo Jackson did it. He was a big name. Those guys, Eli Manning was going to do it, and then they ended up trading him. Maybe it's the same kind of thing here. There's a lot of this. We're about to see it with Arch Manning. It's about to happen.
But he's going to the practices. He's just not participating.
Yeah.
He's like, nah, man, it sucks. I love to participate with the guys.
Hey, listen.
It sucks having to watch.
Hey.
I'd love to get out there.
He would not love to get out there. He'd love to get paid. And he is courting. He is positioning. He's creating leverage, which I like.
He better get 8 sacks.
Hey, but dudes do. Like the Bo Jackson, he was first overall, went back in, fell to the 8th round or something crazy. They had more rounds then. Like this stuff happens.
Well, wait, so Bo, he went, he left the draft, went back?
Yeah, well, no, he got drafted and then was like, nah, I'm good.
No.
And then, and he was like, I got options. I could play baseball. I could do whatever. And then went back in the draft the next year, got drafted super late, and then obviously ended up being, the coolest. I mean, this stuff happens. John Elway played in the whatever the other one was called, United Football League or whatever.
Right.
Well, if I'm a Bengals fan, if this guy's going to be anywhere near Bo Jackson or
sign him
or John Elway,
pay him.
I'm chilling. Take his time. Sit out at a few games if you need to.
And correct me if I'm wrong.
All right.
Aren't all the terms of the contract
slated
predetermined?
Yeah.
Like you got your draft slot value. You can, and the NFL Players Association negotiates this stuff to make sure there are realistic expectations. Why aren't these two on the same page?
There's language about guarantees and stuff. That's where it's all weird. So the money's already set.
Yeah, that is what's turning him off, I guess.
Oh, yeah. 100%. But also, this happens all the time. This happened with Joey Bosa. Joey Bosa missed preseason games when he was doing that stuff with the Chargers. We are not looking at a overly unique, but you're right. If he does just say, nah, fam. And it's interesting for the Bengals because they get, I think they get a compensatory, but it's at the end of the round or
Yeah.
something. I'll have to look all that up. But yeah, this stuff happens.
This is really a bad look for the front office in Cincinnati. That you have
Yeah.
the worst defense
The Browns
in the NFL. You're the worst defense in the NFL. Joe Burrow had a historic season last year, and it was ruined by your garbage defense. You get a generational talent, and you fumble the contract when everything's predetermined.
And
How awful does this look for you?
And they're fumbling the Trey Hendrickson one as well.
Well,
And he's one of the top 4 pass rushers in the whole league.
Yeah.
Boys, I will tell you, the Brown family who owns the Bengals, they kind of always stumble. Like, that's their thing. You know, and heck, they even stumbled into Joe Burrow. Like, they don't know what they're doing up there. They had a chance to grow a dynasty and grow a brand, but instead they were like, hey, let's just pinch pennies and be worried about stupid stuff. Like,
They're doing their best Jerry Jones right now.
yeah, Jerry Jones is different, though, because he's had success 30 years ago. Like, the Bengals, I think the last time the Bengals, well, I guess they went to the Super Bowl recently, but, I mean, they haven't done anything. It's been, what's the quarterback? Boomer Esiason? Is that the last time before this recent failure? They're not a good organization. Also, there's only like one good organization. The Chiefs. And the Eagles.
The Eagles.
There's two.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll see. But I imagine he'll end up signing a contract. And I imagine when he does walk into that locker room for the first time, when he can put on equipment and practice, no one's going to care about any of this. Oh, you're here.
Give him the guarantees. This is dumb. Both of you. It's dumb on both of your parts.
Has he ever been hurt or anything? I don't really know his deal.
Not that I know of.
I don't know either. You know, and it's not what it was years ago where, you know, you needed mini camps or preseasons or whatever to get like ready. Like everyone's just ready all the time. But now the way you get checked out by these teams, you know, there could be all kinds of stuff. Also, he could just be trying to avoid injury, which I super get in a contract negotiation thing.
Mhm.
Like, nope. You know what I'm going to show up for? Headshots. That's it.
I will say the move by going to the practices is very good on his part, because what he's doing is he's showing his teammates that he still wants to be there. So that way, whenever this does get handled and he enters a locker room, it'll be, as far as the locker room language goes, it'll be an easy, you know, insert. They won't be looking at him like, you know, you don't even want to be with us.
No, I don't think. I think at that level, they're all pros.
Yeah, they don't really care.
No, they don't care.
But they do care if they've all been grinding towards something and then someone else just hops in and like starts taking reps. That'll.
Yeah, but you're talking about a guy who ain't gonna make the team anyways. Like, you're talking about a guy what's the average length of an NFL career? Not a season.
2.5 years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Stewart, I mean, he should make the team.
Well, he will. Yeah, he will, because of the guaranteed money.
Mhm.
I mean, that's when they get in the business aspect.
I don't know too much about him in college, but I know he.
Yeah, I don't know. Like I said, I don't know him at all to have an injury history. I mean, good. I mean, also, there might be something we don't know about. You know, there could be like the Bengals found out about a fill in the blank, right? Disturbance, dispute, something. And if he ends up saying and being and acting dumb for a while, and, you know, they don't end up signing him, he's had one right shoulder injury. You know, then we end up having a conversation about how the Bengals were classy and, you know, not bringing any of that stuff to the forefront. Also, I don't know, dude.
I think what he's done, though, by bringing up Trey Hendrickson and stuff and like kind of throwing the front office under the bus like that, I mean, I don't know how important it is, but I feel like that relationship's broken.
Money fixes a lot of stuff.
It does, but he's got to perform. He's got to perform, or this won't last longer. This won't last the whole contract. They'll trade him pretty soon.
Well, they can't if he's not signed.
Yeah, once and if they sign him.
They could trade his rights. Also, if he does weird holdout stuff too, there's like a compensation.
You know, actual good front offices, like the
Vance.
Chiefs and the Eagles,
Yeah.
they got something in place already.
Yeah.
They've probably already sent a text or a call or an email to them. They're like, hey man, we'll take him off your hands. We see how big of an issue this is to you guys right now. Let us handle this problem, and then put another great player on a great defense.
So it's saying here the total number is set. His problem is he wants more signing bonus up front. Okay.
And then also, I guess some sort of language in there is making it so that if they cut him, they don't have to keep paying him a certain amount of money. I'm also seeing that last year, I guess their first round pick, this was not in that contract, which he is aware of. So him feeling targeted is also going to make him feel very, very reluctant. He handles it very well. I mean, he's saying some sharp things, but he's just like,
Well, I
got a little smirk on his face, like, yeah, I don't know. I'd love to get out there and play. It's just weird.
Well, yeah, I mean, he's saying that out loud, but I looks like I have the guts of it right here. So he refused to sign the injury waiver, which, by the way, full transparency here, there was a waiver here at the radio station for me and Van to use the radio station's social media stuff. We didn't sign that.
No.
You like anything you see posted from Sports Animal social media stuff, anything you whatever, like Van and I, we did not put that out. That's why all of our stuff's on our show stuff, because like I don't like waivers. I'm not giving away my rights to whatever.
Sure.
Like that's wild to me. So I'm on Team Stewart here.
So the Illuminati, sorry, Fred
Oh,
is
you're
not
good.
interested.
No, I'm not your guy. Not a waiver guy. You know what I'm into? Accountability. Yeah, waivers are weird. Also, in fairness, he wants the standard slotted contract. Give it to him. And if the Bengals screw that up, especially in a league where it's like Van said, it's like rubber stamped.
Yeah.
And also, I think if you look at Trey Hendrickson quotes about this situation, I think they may seem similar to Shamar Stewart's.
That's one level I'm not willing to walk down in learning about this topic, but I'm pretty confident to say the teams always win. And I like it when labor wins. I like it when players win. Also, I'm pretty oppo the man. So let's go. What's this cat's name? Stewart?
Mm-hmm.
I'm into him. I'm a fan of his now. Shamar Stewart. Is he a defensive end?
Yeah.
Oh, God, you can get hurt every single play.
Yeah.
Turn a thing, pop a thing, pull a thing. It's like a bop it.
Mm-hmm. Tell me more.
Ugh.
Explain myself to me.
Josh Sushan joins us after the break. It's 2 Men On 95.9 FM and AM 610. Hey, Sports Animal. Welcome back to the program. Welcome back to Two Men On. Josh Tucson joins us from the ballpark. Josh, how are you?
I'm wonderful, gentlemen. What's the latest over there?
We're talking about the U.S. Open, and then we're mostly gossiping.
All right.
Hey, what do you think the biggest trade in MLB history is?
In terms of like most lopsided, or just like the biggest names, or like just the most shocking, or
See, there's levels.
So I think we determined surprise because what we came to terms on is we think Luka's trade was the biggest surprise trade in NBA history. So what do you think was the biggest surprise trade in Major League Baseball history?
all right. So you got to remember, I'm from the Bay Area.
Yeah.
Okay, but when the A's traded Jose Canseco, like he wasn't yet the over the top cartoon character steroid guy who had given up on playing defense and was kind of a joke, right? Like he was the biggest star in baseball for about 5 straight years, right? Like he was caught outside Madonna's apartment, not caught, but right? Like he was the biggest star in baseball, and literally he's in the on deck circle. And Tony La Russa says, "Jose, come back. You've been traded."
Mm-hmm.
Right? There was like, it wasn't because the A's were rebuilding. Like back then, they had one of the largest payrolls in baseball. It was a month before the postseason, and the A's traded Canseco for Ruben Sierra, a starting pitcher, Bobby Witt, as in Bobby Witt Sr., and a relief pitcher, Jeff Russell. And objectively, it made sense. You got an outfielder to replace Canseco, you got a starter, you got a reliever. Like objectively, it made sense. But in my mind, it was the end of the A's dynasty. It was just like they had an aura. They were the big bad bullies that came into your town and went out with Madonna and hit home runs and beat you. And that was the end of the A's as just this franchise that was larger than life. And they ended up not making it to the World Series, and Canseco then destroyed his own career. But in my mind, I think that was the most shocking.
Yeah, I think that's super good note. You know what I also think it did too is set a precedent for that A's team, because they ended up doing a really similar thing with Mark McGwire to the Cardinals in '97.
Yeah, but that's when they were terrible then.
That's a good point,
right? Like that was rebuilding. The '92 trade of Canseco was not building. They had the best record in baseball. They thought that it was going to make them better for the postseason.
Bonkers.
Art of the deal. Otherwise, though, it's Babe Ruth, right? That's the answer.
Yeah. Babe Ruth, the air
the
quotes greatest player of all time, for the amount of money it took to put on a play. That's crazy.
No, Nanette.
Is that the name of the play?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That was the name of the play.
My personal favorite, and I named my childhood pet after this guy, but Jeff Bagwell, MVP, perennial MVP candidate, Hall of Famer Jeff Bagwell, for a rental of a reliever, Larry Anderson. Like that one's special place in my heart.
Did you ever look to see what Jeff Bagwell's numbers were when he got traded? He was a Double-A third baseman, and he did not have very good numbers.
A funny baseball stance, a weird name, like all of it.
Yeah,
all
he
of
was
it.
not very big yet either.
Hey,
Yeah.
And then the other one too was the Detroit Tigers acquired Doyle Alexander down the stretch, who made 11 starts, went 9-0, helped
Pretty good.
them win the 1987 AL East. And they traded some Double-A pitcher who couldn't throw any strikes and had a very high ERA named John Smoltz.
Ooh. When you said 87, I thought for sure you were going to get Eckersley going from the Cubs to the A's. That's why I for sure thought you were going with it. Because that was a steal.
Well, no, here's the other thing, though, about that. Like, it was a steal in retrospect, but Eckersley was like just coming out of rehab. He had not been very good for the last few years, right?
Injury
The
rehab.
Red Sox traded him to the Cubs because he was known as Disco Danny, right? Because he was always out late at night, and he's admitted all of this, right? I mean, he had a serious problem. He went to rehab. They traded him to the Cubs where it's all day games. So now he can go out all night. Rush Street doesn't close until 4 a.m. That was probably the worst place for him to go to.
Sure.
And so the A's didn't get him because he was this great closer. They got him as just like, well, maybe he can be a long reliever for us. A's didn't even know that he had come out of rehab. And he came out of rehab a different person. And then the A's, like Eckersley wanted to be a starter, and he was upset that he was not a starter.
He had 20 wins as a starter in this season.
Yeah. and then the A's are like, no, you're going to be a reliever. And he's like, I don't want to be a reliever. And he was like the 6th and 7th inning guy. And I remember getting his autograph as a kid being like, Dennis, you should be a starter. He's like, I know. Thank you, young man. And then Eckersley, then Tony La Russa just is like, you know what? We're only going to use you in the 9th. only the ninth. And Eckersly's like, what? He's like, closers. No, they were called stoppers back then. They're like, no, you put in the stopper in the 7th inning and he went the rest of the way. And LaRussa, I keep saying Eckersley. LaRussa had this idea. No, we're only going to use you in the 9th so we can use you 3 days in a row. Changed history.
Did pretty good in Oakland. Did pretty good in St. Louis. I mean, he was just a player,
dude.
just a dude.
Yep.
Speaking of day games, you had day game baseball yesterday. Tough loss for the Isotopes. Ballpark looked good though, huh?
Yeah, ballpark looked good. Yeah, it's a tough loss. Yeah. You know what happens? You know what?
That's
That's the thing about baseball. I mean, we have had so many heartbreaking wins and heartbreaking losses in the 9th inning this year. Like, I think we've lost 3 and won 3 going into the 9th inning, either trailing or leading. I think we've won like 8 when we're trailing after 7 innings. Like, it has truly been a don't leave early, right? You know,
Yeah,
you don't know what's going to happen. And then the number of other times where it's like, okay, we just lost, but we had like, the winning run at the plate, when it all ended.
Was it 4 runs on the 9th yesterday? Is that what it was?
That happens.
That's a tough one. That's a tough one.
Josh goes there.
So when you, my apologies, Sush, I try not to miss a lot of Isotopes baseball, but I would like to hear the progression of your call throughout the inning. Like, do you just like progressively more deflated, or like you kept it dialed in?
No, it can't be that way. No, like there's certain things though after watching however many games I have at this ballpark where the second batter of the inning takes like this huge swing. It's a mishit, slow roller that's just fair that goes like 50 feet up the third base line, and no one's got a chance to throw him out. And when that happens, you're like, oh boy, here we go. Right?
It is. I have the number here. It is. Is this the 4th time? Are you kidding me? So all right. So the Albuquerque Isotopes have allowed 4 runs in the 9th inning for the 4th time yesterday. All at home in the final frame. Oh, this is bad. Well, yeah. Here we are. Lock it down. Gosh, I didn't realize it was that bad as I was reading it.
So here's the thing from a fan standpoint. This is why baseball is so entertaining in Albuquerque, right? It's maddening if you're the manager, you're the pitching coach, if you're one of those relievers giving up the runs. But this is why, like, baseball is so much fun in Albuquerque, because crazy things happens both for us and against us, right? You think about day games, and I'm watching Thomas and all of the hardworking grounds crew, and they're watering the infield, and they're watering the warning track and all that kind of stuff. And no matter how much they saturate the infield dirt, by the time you get to the 9th inning in a day game, it is hot, it is dry, and now it's faster, right?
Mm-hmm.
So ground balls just get on you faster. There's more balls that get bobbled that just scoot by. You don't have time to react. The number of guys that dropped high pop-ups yesterday because of the sun and the high sky, I think each team dropped 3.
Oh my gosh.
Most of them were in foul territory. But just the culmination of the wind and the heat and the thin air, and it just leads to these crazy endings, which is super fun as a fan, even if it doesn't go the way of your team sometimes.
There is sunshine on the horizon, Sushan. This glass is half full. I have some good news for you.
All right.
We're going to get to do this almost 100 times again. Would you like to do this another 100 times or so throughout the rest of the season?
Yeah, man. And not only that, but our record is going to be 0-0 at this point in 13 days.
Boom.
Well, let's go on that. Who's on the pregame?
Oh, Aaron Schunk is on the pregame. It's actually a really good interview. So I was
Did you
thinking
talk about
him
getting plucked the other night? Oh my gosh.
No, because we're playing Oklahoma City. And the last time we played Oklahoma City, Aaron Schunk hit a home run off Clayton Kershaw. And I know that was 2 months ago, but as I said on the interview, every day is a good day to talk about the day you hit a home run off Clayton Kershaw.
That's pretty sweet. When he took that, do you remember this call? What was that? Tuesday night? When night was that? When we had day game yesterday, Wednesday, today's Thursday. So Tuesday night, he takes one. It looks like it's off the high shoulder, but I couldn't see from like where I was sitting, Josh. And then like the conversation with everyone I'm with is, can you imagine getting hit by an 86 mile per hour? And I'm like, no, like that. Just shake it off, go down to first base.
Yeah,
These guys are so tough.
You don't have a choice.
He's got to throw with that hand.
Oh, it hit his hand?
It hit his hand.
Oh.
He's got to either catch or throw or both with that hand.
You need 2 hands.
Yep.
Zeus, the parent club, Colorado Rockies, 4-6 in their last 10.
Let's go.
That's a competent Major League Baseball team, baby. Let's go.
How about the victory today?
Woo.
3 in the 9th.
Woo.
Who got the game-winning hit? I didn't see it.
It was Orlando Arcia.
He was an isotope.
New pickup.
No.
Okay.
He's like the only guy on the Rockies who was not an isotope.
Yeah,
I think
him and
Mickey
Chris Bryant.
Moniak.
Yeah.
No, Chris Bryant's been an isotope a lot.
bunch of times.
Well, okay,
Yeah,
you know
a
what I
lot.
meant. Yeah. Good point.
How'd Jordan Beck do? Did he get any hits today? I'm rooting for that dude like no one else. He's nice. What did he DH today? He DH 2 hits. Let's go.
There you go.
There you go.
And Ryan Ritter's got at least one hit in every game in the major league so far.
That's not a thing we talk about, though, right? We just let it happen. I don't really know the rules on that.
There's no such thing as broadcaster jinxes. Come on.
You did good today. Thank you.
I try.
Do good tonight.
Guys, enjoy your night.
What a good friend.
Dude.
Isaiah Johnson in the production studio.
I feel like today was a par 5.
You were close on that.
Yeah.
I like the effort.
Mhm.
Didn't quite make sense, but it was there.
I don't believe that means what you think that means.
These words. Van Funnel.
Oh, man. Too much for the time allotted. Anything we didn't cover, make sure to check out tomorrow morning on the opening drive with Jeff and JJ.
Good job, everyone. Keep breathing.
See you at the ballpark tomorrow, Burke.